I'm ready.
All right. Hi, I'm Stephen Murray. I'm the Senior Study Abroad Advisor here at Georgia State University, and I've been here about 3.5 years now, and I'm going to give you a couple of things that I think students should know maybe before you come into the Study Abroad office. One of the things is a lot of times students come in and talk to us, and they'll usually say, well, I know I want to study abroad, but I don't know anything else. And I think the first thing I want to say is maybe you should feel empowered to start looking and doing study abroad research yourself. I think a lot of times students are told, well, hold on, well, let's take this one step at a time, well, we have to do this thing before we can do that thing. So students are oftentimes, so used to processes and procedures that I think maybe they think, well, I can't look at this or I can't think about this before I go talk to somebody. So I think that's the first thing. You're more than welcome to start doing your homework on programs before you come into our office. Matter of fact, it kind of helps me more when you come in and tell me just what you're thinking. Because I think the thing is students think they're going to have the wrong answer. And I think my response to that would be, you're just talking about sort of where you want to go and what you want to do, and there's no real wrong answer there. Now, I might be able to listen to what you say and give you some other suggestions of something you didn't think about the first time, but that's the first thing, is feel free to get out there, do homework, come in and talk to us about programs that you, like, oh, I found this, or my professor told me about this, because you're not going to hurt my feelings. I think maybe that's the other thing, is I think that I'm supposed to tell you what to do, and this is a process, we work together, so feel free to do homework on what you're interested in beforehand. The other big thing I think that students really aren't aware of, and then kind of get a little shocked maybe in the process, is how study abroad funding works in general. You'll probably hear a lot of people talk about, oh, there's all this money out there for study abroad, and that's true, there is, but when you realize what goes into a lot of it, it can be kind of overwhelming and maybe even a little shocking for students. So some of the things there are, the biggest issue with study abroad funding is the fact that there is a lot of money out there for scholarships, and you probably can get some scholarships. The problem comes in, when do you get the money versus when do you have to pay that money out? Because a lot of times you need to actually be making payments and making deposits or buying airplane tickets before that scholarship money comes in. So what are you going to do? The first thing is we try and let you guys know that, hey, there's this sort of financing timeline issue out there. There are some suggestions that we can make. There are some things that you can do about it. Another thing that I see in the funding arena is sometimes students will find a scholarship and they're like, this scholarship would pay for my whole program. And yeah, that's probably true, but this is where that old adage of don't put your eggs in one basket comes in, because what if you don't get that scholarship? I mean, we all like to think positively, and we're certainly here to help you apply for scholarships and apply for anything that's out there. And I think that's really key. Apply for anything that's out there. If you find one awesome scholarship, that's great. Go for it. We'll help you with it, but don't stop there. Keep going. Keep looking for what money's out there. There are some scholarships that are mutually exclusive, meaning that you can only get one or the other. But for the most part, you should go for it, because what's the worst thing that's going to happen? You're going to get too much scholarship money. I mean, that's not a problem. So you might get capped or something based on financial aid decisions, or there's different reasons that might come up. But for the most part, apply for any scholarships, because you can stack them. And that way, not only will you have money to pay for your program, but you might have a little extra left over to have some fun while you're abroad too. So I would say those are the two biggest things to think about before coming into study abroad. Is number one, you are free to go ahead and start thinking about what you might want to do, and come in and talk to me or any of the other advisors with that in mind. I know some schools are a little more strict about their policies, but at least here at Georgia State, we're very flexible, and we're going to try and work with you to find something that you're interested in, but that also works with your academics, that also is going to be eligible for scholarships and all that fun stuff. So definitely bring your ideas to the table. And the other big thing is, if you're thinking about study abroad, start thinking about money the minute you start thinking about programs, because all too often I'll hear from a student, hey, I just got accepted on a program, now what do I do for money? I think that's because maybe people think I have to be accepted to apply for a scholarship, and that's not the case. So the minute you start thinking I'm going to study abroad, the minute you need to start looking for scholarships too. Don't wait for approvals, don't wait for acceptances, because the scholarship people know that they know how this works. So there you go. That would be my 2 cents worth on things to know before you come into the study abroad office.